Do not let my Lamborghini hoodie deceive you, because today we are talking about Ferrari. It's no secret at this point that Ferrari are working on a Ferrari 296 Challenge Stradale. Basically, they're going to take the hybrid system out of the Ferrari 296 and make their most enthusiast-focused Ferrari 296 yet. Now, if this is news to you that this Ferrari is coming, you should subscribe to the channel because I've been talking about this car for months and mentioning it in videos and everything. So please subscribe so you never miss any new upcoming car news. Please like the video for me and turn on notifications. It really helps me get the channel in front of more people. Now let's get into this new Ferrari 296 Challenge Stradale and what rumors I'm hearing around it recently that might be changing. So like I was saying, in general, people have known about this car coming for a while, but there's been rumors around it lately that it might not be as limited as maybe we thought a few months ago, and I'm going to address those towards the end of the video, but let's just talk about what the car is first if you're not aware, and see where it's going to slot into the Ferrari 296 lineup. So Ferrari launched the 296 GTB a few years back. This was a couple years after Ferrari came out with the SF90, which this kind of reshuffled the whole Ferrari lineup, because it used to be like very clearly we had a Ferrari, California or Portofino, which was the front engine V8 entry-level car. And then we had the Ferrari, the mid-engine supercar essentially, which was the lineup of, the Ferrari F430, then the 458, then the 488. And then we even had the F8, which overlapped for a couple years with the SF90. But it wasn't really clear what was the true Ferrari F8 replacement. And the truth is we didn't really get one. We got the SF90, which was the crazy hybrid version of an F8 essentially. It was the same engine, but then with 200 hybrid horsepower. And then we got the 296, which was more powerful than a Ferrari F8 also, but was a hybrid V6 setup. So we didn't really get a direct successor there. And of course we still have the Dodici Cilindri, which still has the V12, from the 812 Superfast. No hybrid at all yet there. That's still more of like a enthusiast driving car, whereas like the mid-engine cars are both hybrid supercars now. So the Ferrari 296 is the baby of the two hybrid supercars Ferrari sell right now, but it's more powerful than the Ferrari F8. It's kind of a successor to that lineup in a way, because the SF90 almost feels like it stepped into this new market that is like, competing with the hybrid Lamborghini Revuelto and the hybrid Aston Martin Valhalla. Like it almost feels like we got like a new hyper supercar level market instead of just like a supercar or a hypercar. And the 296 feels more like the supercar. So that's kind of where we're at. We've had the 296 GTB, we've had the 296 GTS, which is the convertible version of the GTB, but it's no faster or anything like that. And then we've also had the 296 Speciale, which are just starting to get delivered to dealers now. They're starting to pop up here and there, so keep your eye out if you haven't seen one yet. And I actually really like how the Speciale looks. I haven't seen one myself in person, but in general, I liked how that car looked a lot more than I did the regular 296. I've been very lucky to go in a Ferrari 296 a couple times, and it's impressively fast, but it didn't really feel like it had any character to me. And I'm hoping the Speciale fixes that, because it seems like it should. That's what the, special Ferraris typically do. It's got more power, it's more engaging, looks better. I think it's probably a great car, honestly. But the Speciale has the hybrid system still, and I believe it makes about 868 horsepower, but it's still hybrid, so it still does have that weight penalty. Now, what Ferrari are working on are a 296 Challenge Stradale is the name everyone's giving it. We don't know what they'll call it. But they're essentially going to take that hybrid system out of the 296, which, if you're new to the channel, I've been calling for brands to do this for a while. I would love to see that happen with, say, a McLaren Artura, maybe take some of those reliability problems out of it and just make it a lighter, 650 horsepower car instead of like a 700 horsepower car with the hybrid. I think that'd be great. And Ferrari are listening and doing it themselves with the 296. I think that's going to help the car a lot, because I think it'll allow them to make it more fun to drive without making it like ridiculously fast. Like drivers will be able to enjoy this car a lot. Based on the spy shots we've seen, the car is going to have a massive rear wing, the biggest rear wing we've ever seen Ferrari do. Power wise, there's obviously no way to tell from a picture, but I would estimate that it's going to be about 700 horsepower, just because if you take the hybrid system out of the 296 Speciale, you end up near 700 horsepower out of the engine. And that's what I expect to see. I don't think it'll be a manual, at least not exclusively. I think it'll probably be the dual clutch still. Maybe they'll offer a manual version in really limited numbers, but I'm expecting the dual clutch still. And that's great. Ferrari's transmission is probably the most fun to drive. The Porsche and the McLaren one are slightly faster, but the Ferrari one has like a nice emotional kick to it. But the rumors I've been hearing about this car have been circulating and changing quickly. Now, 3 months ago, if I was making this video, I would have told you this car will be the most limited run Ferrari that we would see that isn't an Icona series car. If you remember, the 296 Speciale isn't really a limited production. It is in the sense that you need to get an allocation for one, and they're only going to build one for a couple years, but there's no limited number. Whereas like if we look at an SF90XX, there was, I believe, 799 coupes and 599 convertible spiders. So a finite number. I mean, total it up, you got under 2,000 cars by a few hundred cars. Now the rumor has been this 296 Challenge Stradale will be limited, and that's made complete sense to me, and it would really shock me if it's not, to be honest with you, because if the 296 Speciale isn't limited, there's no way they're going to do another non-limited run of a 296, even more special version. It just doesn't make sense to me. But what I've been hearing lately is that because the 849 Testarossa sales have not been what Ferrari expected, because the whole thing with the Luce happened and no one's loved that, and even the Amalfi people haven't been liking as much as they were liking the Roma, There's a rumor they're going to sell more of these 296 Challenge Stradales to drum up sales and profits and everything. And it's been going around a lot. I've heard it from a few people who normally, if I heard say something, I might think it's true. But I just don't think so on this one. I cannot see that car not being a limited run, at least more limited than the 296 Speciale is going to be. I think it's going to be more in line with something like a Ferrari SF90XX. Now, the SF90XX, like we mentioned before, they had coupes and spiders. I don't think there's going to be a convertible of this car at all. I think there'll be solely just coupes because this car is not meant to be one of the leisurely Ferraris, I guess we'll call it. This is supposed to be like the most focused Ferrari 296 that they make. So I predict just coupes on this car. And another reason that I believe this even more than I did just say a few months ago, when they made the Manuale a couple months back where it's a Dodici Cilindri with a manual transmission fitted to it, it's only available as a coupe. And they're making like 1,600 of them, just coupes, no convertible, which is a car that would have been perfect as a convertible, so that makes zero sense to me. But they said it's supposed to be a solely driving focused experience, no leisure basically. I feel like if that car they're not going to make a convertible of, I really don't think they're going to make a convertible of this 296 Challenge Stradale. I already didn't think there'd be a convertible of it just because it's got the giant wing and stuff. It just wouldn't look right, and who knows if the convertible top would even be able to open with the wing that's behind it. But it just doesn't make sense in like a really heavy motorsport focused car. Like when you look at how they didn't do it for the Manuale either, I feel like it's almost no doubt it'll only be coupes. If I had to put a number on it, it's very hard to estimate this. I have no inside info on this. I'm just purely giving my estimate of where I think it would be at and kind of basing it off some of the other special editions they've done recently. And considering that the 296 Speciale isn't limited at all other than getting an allocation, I would say they're going to make at least like 17 to 1,800 of these cars, maybe even like 2,500. Just because the 296, they make a lot more of those than they do, say, an SF90 or something like that. In SF90XX, we had like a total of 1,400 or 1,500 cars total, I want to say. So I think at least that number, but I think it'll be more because it's the 296 limited cars. So I think we could expect at least 1,500 cars, but honestly, probably closer to 2,000, maybe even 2,500. And that's, like I said, no inside info. That's just kind of estimating where I think it's going to be. I don't believe the rumors that this car is not going to be limited at all. That makes no sense to me. I definitely think they'll make less of these than the 296 Speciale. So in that car, I'm expecting at least 4,000 total. So it'll be less than 4,000 probably, but I don't think it's even going to be near 4,000 to be honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked, like I said a little earlier in the video, if they figure out a manual version of this car as well. I think they could make it work on the interior and everything. And if they're pulling the hybrid system out, there's more room to make a manual fit in there. I don't think that'll be how the car launches. It might be like a further down thing, but the purpose of this car isn't really to be a manual. And we know they're already working on the Ferrari 296 successor car as well. There's already been spy shots of that spotted around testing. So I think if we get that 296 Challenge Stradale, I'm thinking like December for some reason of this year. That's just kind of where my gut tells me it's going to be. We'll see it around then, and then, you know, give it a few months. Let's get like mid 2027. I think we'll see the Ferrari 296 successor's replacement unveiled as well. So we'll get that car not too long after. It makes sense. This Challenge Stradale will be like a final, you know, here's the coolest version of the 296 essentially. This is a really exciting car to me. I love that they're doing this. I wish more brands would be making these hybrid removed cars on the already great cars they have. To compete with something like an SF90, Lamborghini did have to put a hybrid system in a Revuelto to make it competitive at all. But if they had just put a dual clutch transmission, naturally aspirated V12, and, you know, made the car handle the way it does and everything, and make it handle even better without the extra weight from the hybrid, it would have been like the perfect Aventador in a way. So yes, these hybrid cars are fantastic for performance, but the enthusiasts want driving experiences now. The cars from like, you know, 5-10 years ago were already fast enough, and now they're starting to lose driving engagement because of how quick they're getting and what the hybrid systems have to do to make them exciting, to make them fast enough to be exciting essentially, that you're losing some of that enthusiasm. And that's why we're starting to see cars like the Ferrari 296 Challenge Stradale be in the works. So I think this is a great trend in the market, and hopefully we'll see more manufacturers follow. Like I said, I'd love to see McLaren do this with the Artura. I think Lamborghini definitely could do this with even the Temerario or the Revuelto if they could make it happen. There's definitely a market for the Aston Valhalla without the hybrid system. Make the car, you know, significantly less expensive, maybe make it a little smaller, or maybe make it have a little less complicated hydraulic suspension and wing and everything. People would eat that car up because the Valhalla is super loved. It's just very expensive for an Aston, and people worry about the hybrid system. There's a market for these engaging enthusiast cars, even if they're still supercars. A lot of people want them. Look at the Porsche, the GT3 Tourings and stuff like that. Those cars sell great. They're not hybrids on that one, but it's like the most enthusiast-focused version of the car, and people love them. So I'm so happy to see Ferrari doing this. We'll be covering this car until it comes out, and when it comes out, of course. And please let me know down in the comments below which one of these Ferrari 296s is your favorite. Do you think the Speciale is going to be the best one? Do you think this Challenge Stradale is going to be the best one? Do you prefer maybe like a 296 GTS and a nice spec, you know? Anything's fine. So let me know what you like, and please like the video for me. It really helps me out with growing the channel and everything like that. And turn notifications on so you see my videos right when they go live. I hope to see you in the next Exotic Synonymous video.